You need to watch this if you crave chills down your spine. Welcome to Soul Studios. Here, true crime meets the unknown. Suspense lurks in every shadow, and supernatural forces whisper from the dark. We craft chilling, edge-of-your-seat short stories inspired by the eerie, the unexplained, and the most haunting mysteries. 3 new stories drop every week, each one darker than the last. Are you ready to step inside? Subscribe now before the next story finds you.
In 2023, scientists unveiled a serum that promised the impossible, restoring lost memories to Alzheimer's patients. What began as a groundbreaking medical miracle quickly unraveled into something darker as patients reported disturbing visions and experiences no one could explain. Inspired by real advancements in neurology and chilling side effects documented in dementia treatments, this story blends science with supernatural terror in a way that feels eerily true to life. The Memory Thief is a haunting reminder that some corners of the mind may be locked away for a reason. If stories like this leave you questioning what's real and scanning the shadows in your own thoughts, hit that subscribe button now. Join Soul Studios for weekly true account horror narratives that blur the line between fact and nightmare. Like, comment, and turn on notifications, because the next story might be the one that follows you into the dark. In the shadowed corridors of medical innovation, few stories grip the imagination like that of Dr. Evelyn Harrow and her experimental serum, a treatment born from the desperate fight against Alzheimer's disease. This account, pieced together from leaked trial documents, patient journals, and security footage obtained through Freedom of Information requests in early 2025, feels almost too cinematic to be true. Yet it is grounded in the real-world tragedies of clinical trials, where breakthroughs like lecanemab have slowed memory loss but unleashed side effects, including brain swelling, seizures, and hallucinations that patients described as shadows coming alive. What follows is the chilling tale of the Memory Thief. Imagine waking up one morning, your mind crystal clear after years of fog. Childhood laughter echoes vividly, the scent of your mother's perfume fills the air. But as the memories flood back, so does something else. A dark shape in the corner of your eye, whispering secrets you buried long ago. This isn't fiction. In 2023, at a quiet research facility in Boston, Dr. Evelyn Harrow unveiled a serum that didn't just halt Alzheimer's, it reversed it. Her first patient, Daniel, a retired violinist, rejoiced until the shadows arrived. What started as a miracle became a nightmare that claimed lives and left the world questioning. What if some memories were never meant to return? Dr. Evelyn Harrow was a beacon in the field of neurology. Her career forged in the fires of personal loss. Her own mother had succumbed to Alzheimer's a decade earlier, her once vibrant mind reduced to fragments. Drawing from emerging research on drugs like those restoring memory in lab mice, such as lithium compounds that reversed cognitive decline in animal models, Evelyn developed her serum at a private lab funded by a shadowy pharmaceutical giant. It targeted amyloid plaques, but with a twist. It stimulated neural pathways to rebuild lost connections, pulling forgotten moments from the brain's abyss. The trial launched quietly in spring 2023, with 10 volunteers, all in early-stage Alzheimer's, desperate for hope. Daniel Voss, 72, was patient 0. A former concert violinist whose fingers once danced across strings but now fumbled with doorknobs, he injected the serum under Evelyn's watchful eye. Within days, the changes were astonishing. Daniel recalled his wedding day in technicolor detail, the rustle of his bride's dress, the taste of champagne. It's like rewinding a film, he told Evelyn, his eyes alight. Other patients followed suit. One remembered the layout of her childhood home down to the creaky floorboards. Another relived conversations with a long-dead sibling, even mimicking their laugh perfectly. Evelyn presented these results at a closed-door conference, calling it the dawn of remembrance. Headlines trickled out, "Miracle drug defies dementia." But Daniel's journal entries, later leaked, hinted at cracks. The memories are sharp, too sharp. and in the edges, something moves, a shadow watching. As weeks turned to months, the trial expanded. Patients reported not just recall, but hyper-vivid sensations, smells, sounds, even fan touches from the past. Evelyn dismissed initial complaints as neural overstimulation, akin to documented side effects in real dementia drugs, where patients saw animals scurrying or figures peering through windows after treatments like memantine. Hallucinations are common in Alzheimer's progression, she noted in her logs, likely exacerbated by the serum's potency. But the reports escalated. Daniel began sketching dark figures in his notebook, faceless silhouettes hovering at the periphery of his restored memories. "They're not from my life," he confided to a nurse. "They're attached to them." Other patients echoed this. A widow named Clara screamed one night, claiming a shadow whispered her late husband's voice, accusing her of secrets she'd long suppressed. Security footage from the facility, grainy but undeniable, captured patients bolting upright in bed, vital signs spiking as if gripped by invisible hands. One man, a former teacher, clawed at the air, yelling, "Get out of my head!" Evelyn reviewed the tapes late at night, her skepticism cracking. In one clip, a patient froze mid-conversation, staring at an empty corner before collapsing in terror. No anomalies on camera, yet EKGs showed heart rate soaring to near-fatal levels. Then came the carving. In the isolation ward, a patient used a smuggled nail to etch into the wall. They live between the memories. Evelyn attributed it to paranoia, but whispers among staff grew, rumors of unwelcome guests in the patients' minds, feeding on resurfaced guilt and fear. Inspired by real accounts, like a man who hallucinated a farmer in his cupboard issuing threats, Daniel's visions intensified. He described entities crouching in forgotten traumas, like the night his childhood home burned, a shadow now grinning amid the flames. "They're hungry," he murmured. Evelyn upped monitoring, but one patient vanished from her room, found hours later in the basement, curled up, muttering about thieves stealing thoughts. Desperation drove Evelyn to extremes. In December 2023, alone in her lab, she injected a microdose. The effect was immediate. Her earliest memory surfaced, hiding under a kitchen table as her parents fought, the crash of breaking glass vivid. But lurking in the shadows beneath the table was something. A faceless form, crouching beside her younger self, its breath hot on her neck. It whispered her thoughts back. "Daddy's angry because of you." Terror gripped her. The serum didn't just unlock memories, it breached the mind's barriers. Human brains, she realized, never truly forget. They wall off trauma for survival. Those walls housed entities, parasites born from fear, guilt and pain, trapped like ghosts in neural prisons. The serum freed them, letting them feed and grow. Real dementia patients have long reported such visitors, hallucinations of demons or accusing voices, but Evelyn's data suggested they were real, manifestations of repressed horrors. Daniel's shadows? Echoes of a childhood accident he'd buried, now alive and vengeful. She confronted Daniel, who nodded warily. "They're not coming from me," he rasped. "They're coming for me." That night, alarms blared. Daniel was dead, face frozen in a silent scream, tape recorder clutched in his hand, capturing his final gasp. "The thief, it's here." The trial hit a breaking point in fall 2023. 3 patients reported synchronized nightmares, shadows leaning over their beds, mimicking voices from buried regrets, a father's rage, a child's cry. Evelyn, ever the scientist, hypothesized collective delusion from shared environments. But lab tests showed anomalous brain activity, spikes in fear centers, as if external stimuli were invading. Drawing from fatal cases in actual trials, like Genevieve Lane, who suffered seizures and died from brain bleeding after a similar infusion drug, the first casualty struck. Clara was found unresponsive, her face twisted in horror, autopsy revealing microbleeds mimicking ARIA, but with no clear cause. Her last words, scrawled on a napkin, "They want more." Panic rippled through the group. Daniel, now gaunt and trembling, recorded a voice memo. "The serum doesn't restore memories. It unlocks doors, and what's behind them? It's been waiting." Evelyn isolated herself, poring over data. Patients' MRIs showed unusual shadows, not artifacts, but fleeting anomalies in the hippocampus, the brain's memory vault. One night, reviewing footage, she froze. In the background of Daniel's room, a subtle distortion, like a figure stepping out of frame. Impossible, she whispered, but the entities grew bolder. A patient attacked a mirror, screaming at his reflection's stolen eyes. Staff quit, citing cold spots in the halls. Evelyn pressed on, blind to the pattern. The more memories returned, the stronger the manifestations. The pharmaceutical backers buried the deaths, rebranding the serum as safe. By 2024, it hit the market worldwide, memory clinics sprouting like weeds. Billions hailed it, forgotten loves relived, histories reclaimed. But late-night reports flooded in, patients in nursing homes clawing at shadows, begging nurses to make me forget again. Global screams echoed, from Tokyo bedrooms to London wards, as entities feasted on unlocked minds. Evelyn, isolated in her lab, stared into a mirror. A lullaby from her infancy surfaced, soft and soothing. Then, over her shoulder, a shadow leaned in, her own face, aged and broken, singing the final note in a voice not quite hers. The twist? The entities weren't parasites. They were us, fragments of our darkest selves, the thieves we'd created to survive. The serum didn't summon them. It revealed they'd always been there, waiting to reclaim what we'd stolen from ourselves, the truth. Was Evelyn's vision real or her mind fracturing? She never said. Her last entry, which thoughts are mine? The world moved on, but in the quiet hours, ask yourself, what shadows hide in your forgotten corners? As Evelyn stares into the abyss of her fractured mind, the world outside buzzes with false hope, clinics multiplying like shadows in the dusk. The entities, born from our own buried fears, whisper eternally, turning remembrance into a curse that no serum can erase. In the end, the greatest thief is not what hides in the dark, but what we've hidden from ourselves.
Every story has an end, but here, the mysteries never stop. Thank you for watching and being a part of this journey into the unknown. Your support keeps these stories alive, and there's plenty more waiting for you. We drop 3 new stories every week, so if you crave suspense, the unexplained and the downright chilling, make sure you're subscribed and ready for what's next. Until then, keep your lights on, your doors locked, and remember, some stories stay with you long after they're told.